I got my beer. We got our beers. Everyone's got everything. Are we good to go, Fem?
Yeah, we're good. I already started recording.
All right, starting off. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the loading screen. I'm 50% of your hosting team, Jin Fury, and I'm excited to begin another weekly episode with my asexually reproducing buddy, Phemeto. We've got a wonderful guest this week. Somebody that actually I've wanted to have on our show since last week when we actually started it. But don't worry, I'll let you go. I'll go ahead and let Phemeto introduce him. Phemeto, why don't you go ahead and take us from here, buddy?
Hey everyone, I'm Phemeto. I am your gunner host, and you should all hopefully know who I am already. So I'm just going to lead in with RB Frosty over here. You may know him from his series of Dark Souls and Nioh work, but we're bringing him on as our Chargeblade expertise, the disciple of Rainy. Frosty, take it away.
Hi. I press buttons and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like I feel so special and stuff. Wow, you guys are very kind.
No, you.
Yeah, I don't know. I play a lot of the Soulsborne stuff, and I recently did Monster Hunter. World's my first, so I don't know.
Oh,
you
you
say
did
play? You mean you destroy it?
Did you even ever go back to play the old games, or you just play World?
No, I had an interest in the previous games, but I never really had the console or platforms to do it. I never had a Nintendo console or any of that stuff, so if I had a Switch, I'd go and play GU, but I don't, so...
We need to get him a Switch.
Huh?
So we need to get him a Switch for a Portable 5. It'll be a thing, trust me.
Did they announce that they're doing the Monster Hunter
No.
Switch? They did say they got something coming,
No.
right?
Okay, they haven't said anything, but there's literally been a Monster Hunter game every year for the past, 15 years. There'll be a new game. It'll probably be on the Switch, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah. Have you played much of Iceborne, or have you just kind of backed off on that?
I played a ton of it initially, and I kind of burnt myself out, so I just kind of did some other stuff recently. Yeah, a lot of Nioh stuff in preparation for the beta that's still going on this week, so I'm sure I'll be back to Monster Hunter soon enough, but just taking a little break.
Are you going to be on the PC, or are you just console only?
Given the choice, I prefer to play on PC because I'm running base PS4, so Monster Hunter in 30 FPS is not as
and 3-minute load screens.
Oh.
Well, I was smart enough to get an SSD for my PS4, so that's at least a little bit better. But yeah, it's a bit of a downgrade, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
We do what we need to play the game, though. If only.
We survive.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about Burnout a second ago, and I think that everyone's noticed that for at least the speedrunning community, Burnout seems to be more prevalent now than it was during at least World. Big names are kind of slowing down. I think really most of the East is really what's producing kind of what everyone's watching right now. What are your guys' thoughts on why people are burning out right now? I've got a couple ideas. Mine are actually just going to be based around people are used to PC, believe it or not. I think that's something that for the specific speedrunning community, I think people got used to all the removal of the RNG layers, because when I'm on the Discords and I'm watching what people are saying, it really is, oh, I got to deal with this. Oh, I can't wait for PC. And I think that's just what it is. PC is the optimal way to play, and it really is just so much better when you're trying to do what speedrunners are doing. What are your guys' thoughts?
I guess I'll go first. Sorry, Frosty. I think that's pretty accurate, but I think it's not just the fact that it's PC, but we've also demonstrated before that the higher frame rate lets you input attacks outside of their end lag quicker, and for Gunner, you have a faster fire rate when you're have a higher frame rate, so that also means you're going to be improved that way as well. And just because the actual PC launch date is so soon, it's just around the corner, that people were just kind of we can wait. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's really not that long a wait.
Yeah, it's
like what, 2 months?
Yeah,
a month.
It's less than 2 months now, or 2 months now. Yeah. So I don't think it's a huge deal to wait. I think that is what a lot of people are waiting for. But at the same time, I get the burnout, because also a lot of us were playing PC Monster Hunter up until just weeks before Iceborne came out, and so we've been playing the game non-stop for 2 years. And this is the same thing that happened in Double Cross too. Is a lot of people were playing Gen, and then Double Cross came out, and we played that, and then once we got to the end game, it was just we were playing the game for 2 years straight, and we're just kind of got tired of it.
I mean, I did the same thing when Base World came out. I played an absolute shitload up until pretty much when Devil Joe first came out, and then I was just like, you know what? It's the same shit. Let me just take a little bit of a break and come back when there's content and stuff available. So when you put in like 300 hours over the course of like a few weeks, it's like, you know, it's easy to feel burnt out. And I'm assuming a whole shitload of people that, you know, play this game a ton are going to have the similar feelings. So just kind of is what it is.
Now, I know you do at least some runs in a base game. Did you feel that, you know, you'd wanted to do them in Iceborne, or did you just kind of like had enough of it already?
Base World gave me the impression that I was better than I thought I was. or sorry, that I was better at the game than I actually was. Like, I thought I was better just because it was easier to like kill the monsters and stuff. So coming into Iceborne, it was a bit of a kick in the face. It's like, oh, I'm getting my ass kicked, like I'm wheelchair main sort of thing, right?
But I mean, I think everyone had that impression.
Everyone felt that, man. I felt that. Fem felt that for sure. That was definitely across the board. We all got rocked. Fem, do you remember first night? How long it took to beat some of those guys when we got to the, you know, some of the later monsters? I think Shara took us like 4 tries at like 20 minutes a pop.
Shara took us forever.
I wasn't even hitting him the last time we went. I think I did like probably 2,000 damage. I was so like just assed out. Like, oh my god.
We were also like fucking how many hours into that stream? We were like 26 hours in or something ridiculous.
No, it was like 17 or 19.
Oh, sorry.
It's still a lot. Yeah, I mean for one stream, yeah, still a very, very long stream.
Yeah, I just mean like because of that, I was a lot less inclined to like post anything. Like I really haven't posted any runs. I enjoy playing under the like TA rules and that kind of stuff, just because that's sort of how I've approached most games in general. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not nearly as serious as you guys are for like specific speedruns and that kind of stuff.
That's
just
fine.
Like playing.
So you have played Iceborne. So how do you feel about Charge Blade and Iceborne? Because that's obviously your main weapon of choice. Did you like it compared to Base World, or do you hate Savage Axe thing?
No, I actually really like the changes that they implemented for the most part. Like there are certain things that kind of feel shitty, like losing files, and if your SAED gets canceled or something, for instance, like that seems overly punishing for some stuff. But in general, I like the change to make the axe moveset much more versatile and viable. It's nice to actually, you know, fully utilize what the Charge Blade has to offer in as opposed to just like the SAED spam that was definitely optimal in Base World. But I'm assuming that this plays way more similarly to the way Charge Blade was in like 4U or like GU and that kind of stuff. I haven't played those games, so I can only go off of what I've watched in terms of videos, and yeah, it looks that way at least. So
yeah, it's a more AED spam. I wouldn't even say spam. There's just a lot more you can actually use and still be relatively optimal.
Yep.
As a viewer, I think that I'm very excited about seeing some of the other playstyle. I shouldn't even call it playstyle, just other attacks coming out of the Charge Blade. You know, the SAD playstyle, I think even without some of the, you know, Savage mode going on, is probably one of the coolest looking animations to watch, you know, in terms of like runs and stuff along those lines. But it's cool to see that it can have a little bit more. I mean, you're always going to want a little bit of icing on your cake. So I'm all for any buff that Charge Blade gets. I know it got nerfed hard back in World with some BS, but I'm all for it.
Well, dude, even like now, I think Savage Axe is cooler to look at than SAED spam. Like Savage Axe looks like a monster, man. No, you don't think so?
It does look cool, but dude, SAEDs, like when you hit one right, like when you,
it's fucking satisfying.
Like, dude, it's
very
like
good.
Okay, I'm not a Charge Blade
It's
main,
cataclysmic by definition. I mean, everything just goes, it's done. It's done, man. It's beautiful.
Jin, I like how I cropped your screen to be what you did. Now, like you're like flailing about, so you're occupying my space, and gotta hate you, Jin. Okay, don't worry about it. Fair enough. I actually really like the Savage Axe, so all right. So did you see the new charge blade, the Black Eagle's charge blade?
Black Eagle,
the Fire Emblem.
The Black Eagle.
It's the Fire Emblem charge blade. It's Edelgard's charge blade.
I saw the stats of it. The design's pretty cool, but it didn't entice me to come back and do the Resident Evil event. Let's put it that way.
Let's talk about
Well,
those
so
stats,
it's not part of the
brother.
Resident.
Let's touch base on those stats.
It's
How
not
do you
part of the
feel about-
Resident Evil event though. You just have to do
okay.
an arena quest for it.
Point still stands. It's not good enough to really get me to come back at the moment. So I don't really feel like I'm losing very much by not getting that quest done right now. So
Fair enough.
Strong 270 Thunder, right? Isn't that right?
man, it's a sad
270?
day when.
Oh, okay. So again,
objectively better. Like,
I'm not a charge blade main, and I don't really look at other weapon stats. What is a good element for charge blade then?
Not 270.
Yeah, not 270.
Some
Like,
of the ice ones are
if-
hitting like 600, 1,000.
Oh, fuck, really?
and something up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's absurd.
Like the Beatotus charge blade base ice element is 480 by comparison to this, which is 270. And
Jeez.
Oh,
when
wow.
SAED files are entirely based on the element value, it's like.
I
or-
think-
or file damage in general, I should say. So
Then what probably killed it is really the rarity, because it's a rare 12, and if it was a rare 10 at least, you'd have all the elemental augment slots you could throw on it, which would bump its elemental damage up by like 50 or so, which
Yeah.
would be a bit better. But does purple sharpness do anything for charge blade?
it helps the melee.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I mean,
There's not like
you're-
an elemental multiplier for the files.
No, files are fixed. Like it's the element times the hit zone, more or less. So it's like sharpness multipliers only affect like melee swings. It could have been good for like Savage Axe if the raw wasn't so shit as well. But like the fact that it's one of the lowest raw and the lowest element in the game as far as charge blades go, it kind of kills it. But then people are like, "Oh my god, it's got so much purple though! Wow." It doesn't really.
You know, Frosty, going to what you said about how this weapon didn't pull you back into the game. You're one of the Dark Souls players, obviously, the superior race of the world. And what do you think is going to pull you back, and what would bring you back into the game?
Just time. I mean, like I love Monster Hunter. There's no way around that I'm going to come back and play regardless. But for me, it was just like, yeah, I played too much in a short period of time, and I just needed a little bit of a break to do something else.
So in December when we get our master rank KT, you're gonna come back and grind that for 18 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mean Elatrion or Orochi Kirin or whatever siege variant we're gonna get?
It'll
supposedly?
probably be Elatrion. We're gonna get a siege monster 100%. It's Christmas time. They're gonna need to keep people occupied through the holidays. It's gonna be the same time frame that Cove came out from, base game before. It'll be several months down the road. It's gonna be a siege monster.
What if they do a crossover with like Parappa the Rapper or like Umjammer Lammy? Like, what if they bring that on? We find out
Dude,
there.
I haven't heard of fucking Parappa the Rapper in
Dude,
so long.
that's classic PS1, man. I played that before I played DDR.
Very good.
I think that's what gave the gateway to DDR. Actually, was Parappa the Rapper.
Probably. Okay, so fair enough. So that being said, TA Wiki rules got posted the other day.
Whoa!
Finally.
Why are we? You're just blowing past the chugging. Hold on. Like, let's just relax for a second. We're gonna slow it down a little bit here, and we're gonna raise our glasses on the camera and get this done. So I believe you're doing scotch, and I think Fem, you're doing wine, right?
Of course, I got my wine.
Unfortunately, you guys are about to get a little fucked up by drinking this down. So
Okay,
down
that's
in one,
right.
gentlemen. The whole thing. Come on. Here we
No,
go.
no.
Oh, Fem, don't.
I have
not
a
now, come
full
on.
glass of wine, dude.
And a one.
No,
and
you
a-
can't fucking
and
do
a-
that.
Hey man, I got a glass of scotch here, so join the club.
All right, we're good. Another beer.
I wasted all my good wine. I need more wine. I'm gonna run out like 100%.
So why do you think the stats of the new like contest winner weapons are so shit by comparison to what it was in
I
high
think
rank?
they
Do you think
didn't
that-
want a repeat of Wyvern Ignition where every other greatsword became absolutely obsolete for everything. And speaking of that, did you see that Wyvern Ignition did get its upgrade as well?
Yep.
And
I did see that.
it looks okay. Everyone says it's shit, but it looks like it's just 20 raw under Glavenuses, but it has natural purple, and it looks okay.
It seems at least reasonable, which is not something you can say for the Eagle Charge Blade, unfortunately, but...
Right, and then, like, the other things, like, that came out, like, the Horizon Bowgun looks pretty sweet for Thunder, but, yeah, I think they don't want these event weapons to be like, oh my god, this is gonna be the best thing ever, so that later down the line, if they introduce more weapons, you can't have power creep, because if you're not introducing better stuff, then it's going to be shit. But if you're introducing shit, then at least later down the road, they can give you better stuff. So there's not so much of a stair stepping of power creep that we're going to be getting, every single time there's a patch update, which it sucks for the contest creator. Like, whoever designed that Charge Blade, I feel really bad for it, because everyone's going to shit on that Charge Blade. But at the same time, it's like, you can't just keep giving us better and better weapons, because we're just gonna be right back to base world, where we're crushing everything in a minute or less, which we're already kind of getting to, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, the Fist Gunlance died for this fucking Charge Blade, so
I'm sad about that one too. Yeah. Why only one weapon?
Best one by far.
Dude, the Fist Gunlance, yeah. I don't know why they had to pick just one weapon.
How did event weapons like this kind of compare in the other games? Like, is World the only one that had these kind of contest designs?
I don't know, to be honest. I assume the other games had them as well, but I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head. Typically, all the other event quests were just like collaboration stuff for other, anime and games and like their annual collaboration things. There has to be other
stats and stuff like that. Were any of them particularly competitive, or it's just kind of like, hey, here's this kind of fun weapon to use?
They're kind of hit and miss. For the most part, they're just kind of fun weapons. There were some gems in there. Kind of think.
So high rank Wyvern Ignition is the outlier.
Yeah, high rank Wyvern Ignition, yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Like it. There's never been like a weapon that just straight up crushed everything right out the gate and invalidated everything going forward. Because just never had another Wyvern Ignition.
God bless the Wyvern Ignition. Gave me a year of just very wonderful times. I have children. I have 2 great children, but when I have Alzheimer's later in my life, I probably won't remember their names. I'll remember Wyvern Ignition. I'll always remember.
You should get like a little 3D model printed out and just like have a little statue on your nightstand. It's like a nightlight.
That'd be sick.
I might, man. I might. That thing really was just the most broken thing that they put in. I don't know. I still don't know why. If you guys even remember, there was a patch where they removed some of the fire damage off of it, and everyone thought just because at the time it was like 600 with free element, like it was just so high, there wasn't anything in the game that had that high. And then they released the thing saying, "Oh yeah, we're sorry, we didn't mean to do that, and we'll put it back to 600. Not that anyone even really used it for free element, but why would they make that weapon just that so far high ahead of everything else? You know what I mean? It was literally the bell curve. It was just off the charts, just completely.
I think that just comes with the problem with Capcom, like testing and quality assurance. Not to bash on Capcom, but there's always a weapon in every fucking like tree that slips past somehow. There's always that one that's like, why is this so much better than everything else?
Well, we know they don't balance it around, speed running or anything like that. But do you think that they could really plan ahead for, somebody like a Ricky or a Sabel or a Tatsufi or an Olay or any of those guys? Well, find a way to break the game with everything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're trying and just some of these players are ahead. I don't know. I'm not part of the dev team, but I have to assume that when I see some of this stuff and I'm like, wow, I didn't think of that. Maybe the devs didn't either.
I was going to say something, but Frosty, you got anything on that?
Not really.
All right. I thought that was a bit too much of a stretch. I don't think they plan around stuff like that. I mean, Wyvern Ignition is an outlier, but there's always that weapon. Like for the Charge Blade, it was the Diablos Charge Blade, and it wasn't any one single aspect of it. It was like, okay, it's got high raw. Okay, it can also use non-elemental boost. Oh, hey, Charge Blade files don't really care about sharpness, and the whole gameplay is based around AED spam. So it's like, I think just the culmination of all those little outliers came together, and it was just like, all right, well, this is going to beat everything else. Fuck everything else. Same thing with like Glutton. I think Glutton skit past the testing chain there, because I'm pretty sure it was supposed to have spread 2s as its like damage, because it was based off the Jagras heavy bowgun, which had spread 2s, but they gave it spread 3s instead. And prior to that, our spread 3 heavy bowguns had clip 4, not clip 8. So it was just like, what the fuck? You'll never beat anything. Like, nothing could beat it, and it's still to this day how it is. They gave us one bowgun with 8 spread 3, and it's like, all right, well, that's automatically the best bowgun.
Is that really how it was? I never thought about it in that concept method. I guess that makes sense. It's got the capability of just doing so much more. You're right. You don't got to build into it. It's just so set up perfectly. That's a good call, man.
Isn't Charge Blade and even an Iceborne kind of like that? Isn't there like just like one really good Charge Blade? I know Elemental's still viable against some monsters, but isn't there just still one good Charge Blade?
If we're talking strictly about impact, yeah, the Gold Rathian is pretty overloaded, just because it's got.
Isn't that how like all melee weapons are? It's just Gold Rathian.
I believe so. Generally speaking, yeah, Gold Rathian is just, it's just super strong. I think for some weapons, like the Rajang stuff is competitive now, but
Acidic Lab is pretty competitive too for some weapons, I think.
Yeah, it depends on the weapon type. Like Acidic Lab for Charge Blade is kind of not there. It's like that's the kind of weapon that was initially thought of as very strong, and then it's like, really, it's not that great, but because it was like initially thought of as super strong, everybody kind of still.
Well, you also got that way earlier in the game before people, got to Gold Rathian. So people saw that one and were like, "Oh shit!"
But kind of getting back to the question, like Charge Blade is in an interesting state because of how strong Element is. Like generally speaking, if you can use Element, it's most of the time going to be better than Impact.
Yep.
Really now.
So having that, yeah. Well, obviously it depends on the matchup, right? But for the majority of things, I would say Element's probably the way to go.
Jin, you're fucking killing me. Stop moving so much. You keep moving out of your goddamn window. I cropped it so you'd just be all like on your little corner, like how you always were, and now you're just all over the place. Okay. Sorry, Frosty. All right, I'll have to fix it next time. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like the fact that Element it's more reasonable to use with Charge Blade gives it a lot more options on the specific monsters.
Now, does that include both SAED spam and Savage X?
Yeah, again, it's going to depend on the specific monster, right? Like,
well, does anyone even use impact files anymore, or is that what Gold Rathian is?
I know Velkhana people use Gold Rathian for. Definitely Gold Rathian, probably Silver Rathalos as well. Anything that has like disgustingly good melee hit zones, like Savage Axe, is just gonna fucking destroy it. That's just kind of how it is. But if it's got like element hit zones and physical hit zones, then yeah, Elemental Savage Axe is extremely strong as well. So I think because there's like a lot more options with Charge Blade, it's kind of neat. Like it's been a lot harder to figure out what's going to be optimal or the best choice for different matchups.
Well, that's always good.
Sure, like, yeah, exactly. Like having variety is always nice, right? As opposed to like base world where it's just, yeah, if you're not using Diablos Charge Blade, you're a fucking idiot. So, but
Diablos weapons are just so broken when it came to the raw stuff. I don't know how that got through testing, to be honest with you.
Was
some of those things.
Again, I don't think they look at stuff like that. I did think it was a combination of things. Like they probably looked at it and said, okay, these stats are reasonable, but then they didn't realize that we could put non-elemental boost as well, and that was a level 2 decoration. So it was like, here's a free 10% damage.
I'm sure they realize. I just don't know if they care enough about balancing.
Oh, they care. They got rid of Aerial Greatsword. Trust me, they care.
They care. They shit on slicing ammo and cluster ammo. They care.
That's true.
But
they did nerf Impact Charge Blade back in the day, so.
And then they also killed Dragon
blame
Pierce
Rainy for that,
bow.
too.
Yeah, blame Rainy. I don't know. I don't think they think so much when they do any of the nerfs and stuff, because the only thing I go off of that is because they nerfed Dragon Pierce on bow. They went ahead, like, blanket nerf on bow for Iceborne, fine. Bow needed to be nerfed. It fucking was overpowered, like, holy hell and back. But then they nerfed Dragon Pierce. I'm like, really, dudes? You nerfed Dragon Pierce of all things? Like,
Are you talking about the Dragon Pierce nerf going into Iceborne, or
Yeah.
the initial nerf where
Yeah.
you can't reposition?
well, the
Or
reposition
both.
I get, because that was a bug. That wasn't really a nerf.
Right.
That was, I guess it was an indirect nerf, but it was a bug that should have been fixed. That's fine. Yeah, going to Iceborne, they nerfed the motion value of Dragon Pierce. And I was just like, nobody ever fucking used Dragon Pierce. and then scrolling down the patch notes, I saw that they nerfed specifically the armor heroics. I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody uses the armor heroics. Why the fuck are you nerfing it? And
Armor
then
heroics is the best heroics.
and then they left the food skill heroics alone. I'm like, okay, you guys clearly, you hear something, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's clearly what it was. Nerf it, and yeah, weird.
It's not even that they nerfed like armor heroics; they just kind of changed how it works entirely. Now it's just like,
Well, they
doesn't
nerfed
make
the attack boost on it significantly.
yeah, and they buffed the defense, but you're already
Yeah.
below 30%. So like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, oh, yeah, that 50% extra defense
Yeah.
is really gonna save you from health when you're at,
Exactly.
5 life.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So that's a little interesting, but
All right, Jin, stop beating on Nargacuga or whatever the hell you're doing over there.
I'm listening to you guys, man. What do you mean?
I can hear you.
he's
All
getting
right.
a world record, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
right.
clicking away. I mean, there's
He's
definitely
fighting
some
Namiel
clicks.
over there.
All right, yeah, that's right.
All right, so now that we did pound our drink 20 minutes ago, we can move on to the new TA wiki rules that had just came out before Jin
Finally.
interrupted me.
It's only what, like 3 months later?
Yeah,
Only.
I'm surprised it took this long to come out with wiki rules, because even from the beta, we pretty much all self-established what the rules were going to be. So it's just like, hey, we're going to use the claw. We're not going to wall bang it. We'll just use it to tenderize, bam, and just proceed as normal. And now they also banned Drunkbird, which is fine for TA wiki rules. I know a lot of people hated it, but I'm okay with that. It doesn't really do anything when everyone's playing on the same level. And then they, for whatever reason, they allow Nitro Toads and Poison Cups.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, what the fuck? Why Nitro Toads specifically?
I don't know. Is there a specific like matchup where that's just unavoidable? Because
I have no idea.
other than like Luna, where else do you fight something that has Nitro Toads? Maybe Uragon outside Camp 8 and Recess? But why is Nitro Toad such a problem? I really just don't get it. And then
Is it possible people just voted to keep it as null just because they don't want to worry about it? There's other things they need to focus on. As someone who, only TAs for, competitive reasons, but not that much, I'm trying to think of why they would keep it in, and maybe just I don't think it's an oversight. There had to be some reason, right?
Well,
I mean,
right,
he goes
'cause-
through this stuff pretty extensively.
yeah, and people voted on it, but I'm just kind of wondering because there's not very many places in the game that have Nitro Toads. It's literally out there where Lunastra spawns, and then over by Uragon's area outside Camp 8, and that's it. And one, nobody fucking runs Uragon, so that's not an issue. And Lunastra, you can keep her away from that little, like, the little lava islands out there unless you're doing ground dunks, and I don't think that's a big deal anyway. So I don't understand the Nitro Toad thing. And then
Yeah, I have no idea.
they still allow Turf War, which is something I'm still against. Because they let you
What?
yeah, Turf War is allowed. And then also small
I
monsters
didn't
helping
think about
is allowed. So like Gyroses can come in and paralyze your monster, and that's still allowed on TA rules. I'm just like, well, that's automatically the best strat. Like
How avoidable is that though? Like
um
on specific fights.
I think it's mostly avoidable, but like, so if you're thinking like Rotten Vale, if like for Odo Garen, if you fought him down in his little cubby where he is, because of how much longer fights are now, it would totally save you time if you lured him that one zone over. Like if you just go up the ramp there a bit, and then there's Gyros there that could just beat on him, and he's super weak to para. Like it would take
Well,
no
you know
time.
what's not avoidable? is us doing a quick chug here right now, real quick. How's that sound for
What?
everybody, huh?
Did we
Actually,
just do that?
that is avoidable
we did 25
because
minutes ago. I've been
Shit,
counting.
we do.
Let's do it again.
no,
real quick.
I'm out of wine. I have to get more wine. I
What do
was
you mean you're
talking-
out of wine? I literally asked you specifically before
I
if
told
had
you-
enough for chugs.
I had a full chug, or I had a full glass of wine, and yeah, I need to get more. So, but yeah, so let me get more, but you guys can talk about that. So the TA allows turf wars, which is weird because they allow dung pods, and I thought that was the point, was to get rid of monsters. And then they also allow Gyros, and like Wogs I can understand because they don't do a whole lot of damage, but Gyros Paralyze is allowed. And the small monster paralyzed, like Grajalakas and the Snow Mo monsters, are allowed too. Like, what the fuck? I hate that 100%. So, you guys can go over that really quick. Jin just ran out. No, he's still here.
Oh,
Okay.
I had something. I wanted to show Frosty something. I don't have it. I don't know what the fuck happened to it.
Okay, I'm gonna get some wine, so I'll be right back.
Oh, now you're gonna get the wine. Well, that's good. Frosty, listen, I know you got a little bit of a...
Yeah. I got it right here.
That was really the wrong motion to make on fucking...
A little bit, yeah.
That was the worst idea ever. So Fem's go ahead and fill up his little wine box there. We're going to be jumping into the runs here, I think, right when we get back to going. Let's see what else. Anything else we got to talk about?
Well, I'm just looking at the wiki rules again, and I noticed like the one part where it says any slinger ammo other than flash pod and streamer pod can be used with attacks, specifically by gun lance, insect glaive, and bow. And flint shot is not allowed. What do you think of that? Like, why those 3 weapons in particular?
I think on those weapons, it's a little bit unavoidable to use them optimally. I think the idea behind that would be because they want to be able to compete with the other weapons, and they feel that those weapons need it. What were the 3 again? It was bow, gun lance, and...
insect glaive, and bow.
Are they all light?
Yes, they're all light.
Well, they're
Gun
already
lance is
automatically
light
at a
for some
disadvantage, for
fucking
sure.
reason, but
Yeah, why is gun lance like literally the heaviest weapon? How could that be light?
I know you guys were talking about it last week, so I don't want to get too much into it, but it's like, yeah, some of the decision making on that is kind of confusing.
I'm never gonna get over that. I just don't get it.
I mean, I assume it's light because light weapons generate slinger ammo, and then obviously gun lance is going to be using slinger ammo. So under that logic, it kind of makes sense. But
Sure.
if only they had like just made it where all weapons generate slinger ammo and tenderize in one. Oh my god, that would be way too easy. Fuck.
How did they not make tenderize a skill or include it into into Wex or anything along those lines? That's the thing where I get confused on. I think Delbuster had a pretty good argument for what he was talking about on one of the Discords. He was talking about how you should be able to build around it instead of being forced to use it. If you want to use that as an option, hey, I'm going to take 30 seconds out to basically debuff the shit out of this monster. I should see a benefit to it for the next 90 seconds. And I think that makes perfect sense. That probably would make a lot of the monsters even have a couple different variants on how you could attack them. Because if they were to buff it out to where like even some hit zones got more intense, you could probably set up some new trips or new staggers that really didn't exist before. And I don't know, I think that'd just be a cool thing to open up the play styles. I think that's why we're playing, or at least interested in this game for anybody who's listening right now, because we're just trying to see everything that's out there. You know what I mean? I'm all for new stuff. I'm all for more stuff too. Absolutely.
Jin, you moved again. Yeah, go back to your spot.
I don't even know what spot. What spot? What spot?
It's gonna be the thing the whole night.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
No, man, we're good, dude. We're good. We were just talking about slinger pod ammo. Let's see what else is in the TA wiki rules that I want to just drop down on. Give me once I got the website up. Aerial attacks banned, of course. Wonderful. Ledge recoil banned, excellent. Might as well get rid of all the cool stuff there.
I don't even know if that works anymore.
Let's see. There's really not too much else, man. I mean, the one thing that I think is going to be the biggest issue is the no wing drake drop. and someone was talking about fights like Nioh just gonna kind of be a little bit, salty or a little bit difficult.
Well, okay, here's the thing about that, and I get it because it sucks because it's gonna make our times longer. But if everyone's playing, like everyone that plays TA Wiki rules, if everyone's playing TA Wiki rules, your time is still gonna be the best across the board, regardless of Wing Drake or not, because everyone has to run the same thing. Like nobody can run Wing Drake anymore. Yeah, your time's gonna look a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about times in Monster Hunter anyway. I know that's what we're fighting for, but ultimately, they care about the sweet gameplay.
This is a good point.
Like the Windrake stuff's avoidable too, like so that's not really a huge concern. It'd be one thing if it was like completely unavoidable, like you just have a random chance to get that shit whenever you start a quest. But
the thing that they're talking about is like for Namiel, because she spawns up there at Kieran's nest every single time. It's like now if you spawn at camp, you have to wait for her to come down to the bottom. You're waiting, but that gives you time to set up as well, which I think is okay. But I don't know. I guess you can go up there and fight her, but it's just a waste of time, really. Yeah. But again, if everyone starts there, then everyone has the same starting point. Everyone's got the same playing ground, and you're not just grinding for Wing Drake drop. So I don't know. I like it for consistency's sake, but I get people that don't like it.
Well, I think for consistency's sake, you're right. It makes it easier, or actually not easier. I'm sorry. It makes it consistent. It evens the playing field, and I think I get what you're saying now. That makes sense. I wasn't thinking about that before. Good call out, brother.
Honestly, I think though with the TA rule implementation, I think a lot of people are just gonna be like, okay, fuck TA rules. We're just gonna do whatever and post it on Shins.
So, I think that you're right. And I think even if people don't do that, I think Shin's website is going to blow up. Hopefully right now, when you edit this video, you're just going to have Shin's website and like 93 different links that people can click on and like just look at. But realistically, I think that is probably what's going to happen. That website that he's got set up, while it might not be the one that people are used to, it has tons of just massively better qualities, in terms of how easy it is to access runners, weapons, leaderboards. He's doing stuff that I think people were requesting from the old TA Wiki website for quite some time. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please definitely go check out Shin's website. I think that he just added the leaderboards today. Is that right?
Yeah, on a per weapon basis.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely fucking sweet. I'll
put a link to it in the description. Frosty, have you seen Shin's website?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's great.
I didn't know.
Just having access to all of that kind of stuff is quite nice.
Right, and like that's where I pull all our runs from now. As I could just look up runs super easy from it. It's like, all right. Right there.
It's literally 2 clicks. 2 clicks, you get to everything that you need to get to, whether you're looking at weapons, leaders, runners, whatever you want to do. I'm a big fan. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out after this. Absolutely. Are we at the runs now? I think we're getting to the runs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the runs, but I mean, it's a cool talking point. I know. I just
want to talk about the sweet Resident Evil Rocksteady mini stuff going on.
Okay, well, a little bit, yeah, just a little bit. I honestly like talking about just general game more than speedrun specific stuff right now. I think that's what more people care about. I honestly thought that when we got the Resident Evil emote, that we were gonna get the exact same effects that we did have in the quest, where we kind of just tank through attacks, but we don't. I went and tried it. You can't just tank through shit with the emote on. And I thought
you don't get Rocksteady.
No,
so in the Rocksteady effect
in the quest you do, but in an actual hunt outside you do not.
Really?
And that was the first I did it on stream. I put on the emote because I was like, dude, let me put on my glutton, and I just don't have to worry about anything. Fuck everything else. And then I just got like Palumu just kicked my ass. I was like, oh.
Fuck Palumu.
Yeah, Palumu sucks. It's Hex's baby, but I hate Pal.
Did he do Nightshade or regular?
He did Nightshade. Of course he did.
Okay.
That's a Hex monster for sure.
Respect to Hex. God, we need more Hexes at Capcom.
More English speakers at Capcom.
Well, everything in World that I wanted to get better. It got better with Iceborne, and it's just odd that Hex got hired and was on, some of the discords with some of the, I would argue, people that probably knew what was actually going on and listen to people. He's not on. He's not on the next ones, right? He's on
no.
something else now.
Yeah, I don't think he's even working on Monster Hunter right now.
Oh fuck! It's not good.
My understanding was he's still within Capcom. He's just doing something else. So.
Yeah, he just got moved to. I mean, that's how it works. You're done with the game, move on to something else. But...
Shout out to Hex for being super talented. Although he did lie before, so maybe he's actually Monster Hunter still. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows with that guy.
It's a mystery.
Whatever. Hex is cool. Yeah, so I don't know. I was bummed about that Resident Evil emo. I thought it was going to be OP. I thought, oh shit, we're going to have to ban this in TA rules 100%. I thought this is going to be like a meta-defining
Dude,
emo.
that would have been sick to like find actual good uses for that in
for emotes.
different fights and stuff. But
you guys are on the emotes. I wanted to fight like Tyrant on like the Ancient Lesson. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they didn't set that up. Like, this is an easy thing. It could have been just...
It's a small collaboration event. I was actually surprised and happy at the same time because I knew it wasn't going to be much. It'd be like the Dante stuff where it's just, it's an event quest. But I'm glad they added like enough little features into the actual quest to make it more than just, okay, you have to fight Val. But because they actually added, the green herbs, and you combine green and reds, and you get, zombified, and, it was more than just a fight Val fight, which I thought was kind of cool. Because it was like a step between just a typical event quest and, something like the Witcher or the Final Fantasy collaboration where, it was story quests and a monster and all this shit. I think it was a nice, in between point.
In the Resident Evil games, remember how the herbs looked like pot plants, and then like when you broke them down, they were like on a joint? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I thought that's what the icon was going to be.
It was brown. It wasn't even like it was like a Band-Aid. It was like a fucking brown joint. Like, here you go. Like,
this quote-unquote green herb.
Like, oh yeah, this red one. This will get rid of the poison.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck it was. That was blue. Sorry, red tripled it.
But yeah, like I'm a little annoyed that they didn't change the herb icons because if they did like Resident Evil herb icons, that would have been way better. I don't know, but I thought the event was fine. Plus, next month we're getting a bunch of shit too with the new monster, which is gonna be a siege monster and other crap. We get the Horizon.
So let's take events right now.
Sorry, what was that, Frosty?
Do we know when they're announcing that? Like more details on that specifically?
I assume we'll get
week in
something.
December.
Yeah, probably around the first week of December. Because on the 22nd, we're gonna get the Horizon event for whatever Iceborne, and I assume the week after that, so like the 29th or early December, we'll probably get some news like, hey, here's what we're doing in December. Because we're gonna get the extra 2 events for Horizon in December, and then we'll get the monster, and it'll probably be near the end of December, probably like a Christmas typey thing. That's what I'm expecting.
I want that.
So we taking bets as to what it is. Is it going to be Master Rank Cove where we can actually fight it? Or,
it's gonna. I still think
kill it. I should say
it's going to be a siege. It's either going to be Cove or it's going to be Elatrion. That's what I'm thinking.
You think they're going to turn Elatrion into a siege fight?
I do. Elatrion's one of those like top tier calamity monsters. It embodies all the elements in a dragon, and I think bringing Elatrion in as just a standard Elder Dragon fight, it would just be shameful. I think Elatrion and like the Fatalis going forward would have to be a siege. It'd have to be these massive events that people will have to, spend multiple, hunts doing, kind of like Cove, because they're that important. I don't think just having them as a standard monster to fight would do them any justice.
I have never fought these monsters, but the little bit that I've read up on them, it would make sense.
Okay, so here's the thing. So Elatrion is the same Elder Dragon skeleton that like Kushala and stuff have, but it does thunder, lightning, fire, dragon. It just rotates elements and just does crazy shit all the time. And I hate that fight so much. I fucking hate Elatrion. And then
my vote's gonna be that it's gonna be MRKT. Here's why. On the map, when you load up right now, the KT map, there's that 5th area that you can see him run off to when he finally gets descaled all the way or whatever and gets his horns broken. And it's built out like it's a layer. Like it looks like when they drew it, like it's another area you would go to. So I would go the opposite from the marketing team or from a dev standpoint. They would want to release a Latreon or something else like that as this new monster people are going to fight. But I don't know. Maybe you're right, man. Maybe they would want to release it as a siege thing where people are chasing. Because as long as people are playing the game, it doesn't really matter, right? That's what they're doing. They're trying to base it around, hey, how do we bring in more people that weren't playing before? I guess that does make sense. You're right. It could be a Latreon for something like that. How big was a Latreon? Was it like a big monster or a small one?
Yeah, he's pretty big. He's really big.
Compared to like Nergigante and the rest of them, how big is he?
Well, he stands like Kushala, so I'd say his head is probably 50 or 60% taller than Kushala.
Okay, that's pretty big. That's legit. Okay.
Forgive my ignorance on the fight, but like, couldn't you see them giving the world treatment to something like a Latreon or even like Fatalis or the variations of Fatalis in the same kind of vein as they did with like Xeno or like Shara, where it's kind of like that larger monster fight rather than like a specific siege?
I can for a Latreon, yes. For Fatalis, no, because Fatalis has what we call floppy neck syndrome. He has got a really long neck that flails about, and Capcom has specifically stated that they have a problem coding and putting that in, and that's why they didn't put Legiacris in. It's because he also has that floppy neck syndrome. So I don't think it's going to be Fatalis.
I think that December is going to definitely be a siege monster because I think they're going to want to release a bunch of loot at that time just to draw people in for the holiday sales.
And that's what I'm thinking.
I completely think there's going to be a siege monster. Yeah.
For holidays.
No question, for sure.
December, siege monster across the board. Right? Now we're trying to figure out which one.
Now, not Kushala. Kulve Taroth would be the easy scapegoat, especially if you just do like a subspecies and call it a new monster. But how pissed off would people be if that's what it was? Like, nobody wants to do Kulve again, especially if it's just they're like teasing a new monster and it's just a subspecies Kulve, and you're like, fuck, really?
I don't necessarily have issue with Kulve, if we actually get to kill it. Like, how many monsters actually run away where you don't get a chance to actually hunt it? Like, technically,
that's
Is
it.
it just Kulve?
Kulve,
It's literally that's it. So I don't know. I feel it's unlikely that remains the case, which is kind of why I think they're going to reintroduce some kind of master rank Kulve fight or something.
And that would be cool.
If you specifically look at Kulve, like Phase 4, like that's a pretty cool fight.
That's what everyone loves about it. Phase 4 Kulve is a great fight. So if we get like a Phase 5 where you chase it down to like one other like final confrontation, great. I'm okay with that. But they're also advertising December as a new monster, so like it can't just be Kulve. It can't just.
Oh, did they say new? They said new specifically.
Yeah, you don't have that picture or whatever of the roadmap.
Then it's not going to be called. God damn it, son of a bitch.
That's what.
wrong.
I'm wrong. It's not necessarily only going to be a single new monster, or even if it is a single new monster, it doesn't necessarily remove the potential for a new Kulve fight. Like
right, because they could just do master rank Kulve.
See, I think they would. I think it does change, and here's why. They only have so much content, right? Like you guys already were talking about, people are working on new games. You know, Hex, who worked on one of these, is supposedly working on something else now. If that's true, which it probably is, you know, he's got no reason to bullshit. They only have a finite amount of content to release. There's no way that they're going to release more than one thing a month. You know what I mean? They're going to hold that off.
Like they've already got the foundation for the Kulve fight. Like adding a little bit more to it or something, or tweaking it in some specific way is not necessarily going to be the biggest.
No, but the loot table. You got to think about what they're putting in the game. So a Kulve loot table or a siege monster loot table would be huge. You know what I mean? That's going to be 90 new items or whatever. Is that right? 90? Damn,
it's going to be more than that.
As hard as designing an entirely new event or fight, right?
Right, like you can crank out armor and weapons in a day.
An entirely new siege from the ground up versus re-implementing things that they already have within the Kulve Taroth fight. One's a lot easier than the other, right?
Right. Sure. They could just up the stats on the Kulve stuff and crank out Master and Kulve in a week if they wanted to, I'm sure.
Right.
They said don't erase your Kulve gear, right? Didn't they literally say that? They said that for sure. So that there's got to be some way to. I hope they don't upgrade it. I hope they do something different. New loot. I want new loot.
I don't care if it's upgraded as long as the fight itself is interesting and worthwhile.
I think that's all everyone cares about. They don't. Cove was fine. It's just doing Cove 170 times got kind of crazy. When the only part we cared about was Phase 4. If we have a new siege monster or even just a new Cove that is like a 1 or maybe even 2 phase of just hard monster fight, no one's gonna complain. It's like we are right now. Like we're grinding the same couple monsters for decos, but it'd be no different than grinding, one monster for gear, because we probably just alternate between like 2 elders for our decorations anyways.
It's probably a good point.
Nobody's doing Lunastra, nobody's doing Kushala, nobody's doing Valhazak. So you're doing like a couple elders.
I'm watching runners erase their Lunastra quest, bro. Like they're just getting rid of, like, oh, sorry, let me get rid of that.
5-box Luna? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 feet. Oh, check that off.
I love getting investigations, and it's like, here's a 2-box Luna. I'm like, all right, well, that's going in the trash. Might as well just not giving me it.
Dumpster tier. All right. Well, I think that's where we're getting to our runs now, man.
Okay. So, speaking of the runs, so what did you want to load up first? And Frosty, you got a copy of all these runs, right?
I sent him a link for it, so he should have it. If not, I can send it over real quick. I'm gonna grab one beer. 1 sec.
All right. Any other thoughts or stuff you want to talk about before we get into this, Frosty?
Specifically, nothing comes to mind, but
anything? Not even Monster Hunter related? Because I know we're just all kind of waiting for PC at this point.
I'll be perfectly honest, man. I'm on the Nioh hype train. Like
Nioh 2 comes out in March, right?
Over, man. March 13th is when it's coming out for Nioh 2.
Yeah, I want
but
to get
I'm
on
pretty
that.
sure I'm gonna wait until PC to get it.
I love Souls games.
It's not a Souls game. Ugh,
it is a Diablo-like Souls game. That is exactly what it is. What would you describe it as?
Hold the fuck on. Hold on. It's not a Souls game. That rip-off shit. Hold on.
How are we defining what a Souls game is? Are we saying, oh my god, it has a stamina bar, therefore it's a Souls game? Like,
no, not at all.
No, it's you die and the monsters respawn. There's a clear level progression into the level. Sure. There's a clear combat mechanic that is targeting and... No?
The combat is where you lose me. I don't think the combat's anything like Souls.
It's more complicated.
Frosty, how much have you had to drink? You don't think Nioh combat's like Dark Souls?
No, it's more complicated. It's way more complicated.
Way more involved than Souls.
But I think the general gameplay is very Souls-like.
In terms of level progression and how you have a general area that you progress through, you unlock shortcuts, and then you have a final boss, sure. And if we're going to talk about, there's a stamina bar, and that's kind of related to Souls. Sure.
Is that what people argue about? That's the second time you said that. I would never say that a stamina bar is why Dark Souls is
I just
Nioh.
mean, like, that's sort of where the similarities kind of end for me. It's like Onimusha and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, okay.
Actual gameplay. That's what it feels way more similar.
It is a lot like Ninja Gaiden, yeah.
So it's like...
I just think anything that has like a... Okay, you kill monsters for souls, you lose souls on death, you use souls to level up, you die and respawn at a bonfire and all the monsters reset. Anything that's like that has those, bam, it's a Souls game.
I don't disagree that there are elements of the game that are similar to Souls, but to reduce it just to a Souls game, I think is an error.
So you think
I think that's actually...
I meant it in the best way possible, like, because we all know Dark Souls is, the best thing since, everything since life existed on Earth. But I also think that Nioh took a lot from it. Like in my head, Nioh was like a group of like 10 people that sat around and they were like, all right, we're gonna take everything that's good out right now and put it in one game and make it better. And they made Nioh. So they took the combat from Dark Souls, the loot table from Diablo. Story was kind of like whatever, not really existent because whatever, no one really gives a shit. But like Nioh, like if you didn't play Nioh, you deprived yourself. It's one of the best games that came out last year, and it really was its own IP. It didn't have a lot of marketing behind it by any means whatsoever, and it was incredible. So when I say that like it's a Dark Souls game, that's what I mean by it. Now, for you to say that like the combat's different, whatever, I don't really think that that's a thing either, because there were weapons that were there were weapons that were close to what you do in Nioh, and I get it. Nioh expands on it. You got high stance, low stance, key stance, Yogi Bear stance, whatever else you got. I mean, you got it all. But at the end of the day, it still is combat heavy, and you're punished in that game. You're punished. Prior to Dark Souls, and I guess that's where we're gonna go into it. Prior to those type of games, you didn't get punished and you didn't lose experience or progression. And when you look at Dark Souls and, you know, how you had, you know, False King Alliant, you know, the best boss of all time that literally took your levels away, which no game has ever done since for some fucking reason. I still
Demon Souls for life, dude. Yeah.
The best by far.
Absolutely.
Best by far. That's what I'm getting when I'm saying that it's like a Souls game, because you know, we just had like a 20-minute conversation about something that's not Monster Hunter. But either way, it was a good combo.
I know.
And I think we're all pretty accurate in what we're talking about. Phemeto,
Well,
roll the clips. Let's start one out. You pick the first one.
Sorry, I just wanted to tack on one thing, but you just kept going. I was just to say,
Yeah, sure.
unpopular opinion, I think Nioh was better than Sekiro.
They're different.
I-
Let me re-articulate my position. I know we're going off topic, and this is supposed to be a Monster Hunter discussion and podcast thing, right? But let me.
It's more of a drunk podcast about cool shit, so whatever.
Absolutely. My issue with Nioh is just like the way a lot of people describe it as a Souls game. That's sort of where it ends for a lot of people. They just hear, "Oh, it's a Souls clone," and that's kind of it, like full stop. Like I know Sammy, Hot Sammy says he's recently started getting into Nioh 2 with the free beta, and a lot of his initial reservation was that it was described as, "Oh, it's just a Souls clone, but it's in Japan."
That's
So,
exactly what
no,
those are
no,
the
no,
exact
I
words I
It's
told
better
him.
than Souls
Okay,
and Souls.
no, but
that's
okay, I
where
swear,
my-
did he
that's
talk
my
to you?
issue.
Because I was
Who
talking.
said
No,
this?
me, I
That's
did.
where my
Okay,
issue is.
so literally on stream, I told Sammy it's Dark Souls in Japan. Those are the words I told him.
That fucking aggravates the shit out of me. Like, there are aspects of it that are very Souls-like, no questions asked. But to reduce it just to that is not doing it justice.
Fair enough. Fair.
Yeah, I won't derail this any further.
Way to reduce somebody, fam. Way to go, buddy.
What
Just-
an asshole! What is this fucking?
Well, if you want to bring a quick introduction into like some game, like I don't know, I just
Ninja Gaiden meets Dark Souls meets Diablo. That's how I would describe it.
oh yeah, like that's so clear.
And the story is equivalently
Yeah.
as bad as Dragon's Dogma.
Yep.
Speaking of which, when are we getting a new Dragon's Dogma? Because actually, we did. It's
I
Monster
think
Hunter.
everyone in the world who has ever played Dragon's Dogma is waiting for Dragon's Dogma 2. Like, I think that's just across the board common sense.
I think the worst part about that is we've had like a couple teaser games that are similar enough that just like didn't go anywhere. Like Deep Down was super cool when that was released.
that is-
What happened to
It got
What
scrapped.
happened?
It got scrapped. It looked so cool when they announced the PS4, and that was like the one of the launch games that they were talking about, and it just kept getting pushed back, and then it was just like it
Yep.
died. But yeah, Deep Down looked crazy.
There was another game that was previewed, or like there was a trailer for it that was similar. I don't remember what it was called.
Are you
I
talking
remember,
about
like, looking at stuff
Scalebound?
on- No,
Yes.
no. Scalebound was like
Yes.
the Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Scalebound was like the
Copy.
right?
No, there was one. Shit. It was like TGS or something that showed it off, but it was like this this dude who was fighting some monster in like an arena, but it looked very much like a.
Oh,
super high-res
was it like
Capcom.
the medieval, like
Yeah.
super medieval stuff? Like he was just like a typical knight, and it was like a scaled
Yep.
dog thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I know
But it was
exactly.
in an arena, and
Yeah.
he was like mounting onto it in
Yeah.
the same way that you kind of do with like Dragon's Dogma.
I know
Like,
exactly what you're talking about, but I have no
and I've
idea what
heard
the game's
nothing
called.
about it since.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what it's called. I just remember the fucking trailer because I was thinking to myself, like, oh my god, this could be Dragon's Dogma 2.
Right.
But-
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't think that has gone anywhere yet either. If it's even still in development, I don't think so. So. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
what runs are we watching?
I got a list of a bunch of Chargeblade stuff because we got you here and you're our Chargeblade guest until we get a Cantor.
Can I
Randy
pick
on.
first? Can I pick the first one? Let me pick the first one.
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's pick the first one. Let's do Big's TACB versus Tempered Blos.
Tempered Blos? Is
Yeah,
that
Piercing Black.
Oh, did you add that?
I did.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad that you went over to listen prepared, Fem. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I had downloaded the stuff all beforehand, and
Professional podcast here. Don't worry.
and
Super
I don't
pro.
think we have ever. Oh, I do have it. Shut up.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Phemeto.
All right.
Big's just beating the shit out of a Black Bliss.
All right, so I guess we can go ahead and hit play together and start it up. He picked
Yeah.
a good music choice for this one for sure. I dug this. I think it's Fire Emblem. Is that what this is? Yep, it is Fire Emblem. It is Fire Emblem. All right, let's see where we're going with this bad boy. Ooh, catches him down in the nest. Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah, Jin's jumping ahead. Wow.
Oh, gentlemen, there was more than enough time to set it up.
I got it going.
We're not doing like a countdown or anything?
No, he just kind of
All
went.
right, here. Oh my God, you guys let me know. I'll let you guys. I'll wait. I'm down here while he just started.
I'm watching it. He just started it. But is this Fire Emblem? Yeah, it sounds like Fire Emblem. I'll have to look. I'm surprised he decided to temper Black Diablos. That is a hell of a fight.
Yeah, this is definitely not an easy one, and especially they upped the HP on tempered monsters now versus regular ones too, right?
Well, yeah, it's also yeah. Well, I mean, it's always been a thing. Tempered monsters always had a little bit more HP.
They could roll lower though in World, right?
No, basically the lowest HP roll for tempered was the highest optional.
Even in Vests?
Yeah, investigation. The thing is, you had defense modifiers to counteract that.
You're right. You're right.
But Black Diablos is just a fuck of a fight in Iceborne.
I'm at 130 right now, and the music is just perfect with him hitting these like block after block after block after block. This is very, very well done.
Ice
and there's
also
that
does
sweet SAED hit. God, those look good when you get them done right, man.
And I like the clutch claw into just not using the clutch attack, but using
what was that?
So
it's
that
to extend the duration of the not stun, but
the clagger. Call them claggers. Yeah.
Do we know who invented that term? I feel like it's somebody we know.
Yeah, someone on our Discord. I don't know if
someone on one of the Discords we know, right? Like that definitely was invented because they made the joke. They were like, "Let's call it clagger." And
yeah.
Like everyone started laughing.
Yeah, everyone called it clagger since. But yeah, basically a lot of weapons now. You see, Kanta did it on the runs we showed last week for Devil Joe or his Devil Joe.
Okay.
And yeah, you just grab onto the monster, and if you don't need it tenderized, you just let go because it'll make them sit there for like 8 seconds or whatever, how long you would normally be on them for.
Yep.
I'm surprised
it's one of those fights where SAED is just extremely good just because of how much elemental damage Diablos takes.
It's a lot.
Well, and honestly, that's why I'm wondering why he didn't use Savage Axe, because Diablos also has very weak melee hit zones as well. Like the legs, the chest, the wings, they all just get buttered. But I guess he's not toppling the monster at all.
Look at that timing, dude. Oh my God, he got it to bounce back off the initial hit so it got hit by the rest of the SAED. Wow, this guy is good.
I also think that like the elemental hit zones are good enough across the board where you don't even necessarily have to be like super specific with where you're hitting.
You just
like,
throw it
anything on the wings or the belly. Like you're just gonna do like 200 plus damage per file. So to try to compete with that with Savage Axe,
got the trip.
a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Jen, I think we're on like the exact same spot. That's good.
We got a pod down. So let's look at
Now,
this. Oh, we got another pod, 345. I think that other pod was from a clagger.
Now, does offensive guard on Charge Blade do anything for file damage or no?
No, it just boosts the raw. But even
really?
on Charge Blade,
wow, that's way less useful than I thought it would be. Wow. I thought
like,
the
literally
optimal
nothing
playstyle would be
affects element aside from just display element.
Oh.
As far as I'm
Yeah,
aware. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
about
see,
that,
more good use of the Clagger, just to get some more files in.
That was good. Wow. Okay, I get that now.
but yeah, he's just trying to get the trip.
Now, especially for Charge Blade, that's free files.
That was a good guard point too.
Oh, I'm surprised he actually let Diablos change zones.
You could have stopped it.
Maybe not. I just thought the hunt might have been over soon enough that it didn't need to change.
We're at 447. Oh, dude, you're right. He could have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know how this thing translates. Wow.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
saw the time and I saw the explosion. It's like, dude, if he'd only got one done maybe earlier.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think he could go back and do that without changing zones, to be honest. I mean, it was pretty clean. I like it, but I still think there's
Oh, it
time
was
to save.
super clean. Super clean. It's just like, man, had one thing gone right, he would have shaved like 25 seconds. You know what I mean? But wow, that was well. From start to finish, just very, very well done.
Mm.
I find it interesting though that he's using Silverlos, even though he's not like using Savage Axe.
That's not Silver Loafs. He's doing ice damage.
What do you mean? No. His armor set is Silverlos.
Oh, his armor set's Silver Loafs. Okay.
Yeah, he's got 4-piece Silverlos as opposed to like the Namiel set for the additional base element. with,
Yeah, because I figured Silver Loaf's
acceleration.
true crit only affects Savage Axe because, I mean, you get elemental damage on your, axe swings, but the files don't get crits, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think that could probably be improved a lot, but yeah, Silver Loafs is an odd choice.
I imagine the decision there is to get more damage on the legs to get trips more frequently, so you can get opportunities to do the big fucking damage when he's knocked over. Because
Sure.
Blos doesn't fuck around for the most part. You're not going to get like a huge amount of damage unless it's knocked over.
Right, but is that really worth it? So you're gonna grab crit element, and I mean the Silver Loaf set is a piece of shit. It's a bad set. If it weren't for true crit, that set is garbage, dude. And so you're really gonna sacrifice all the extra skills to grab true crit just for the sword swings on the legs, rather than get
I don't know if it lets you
Namiels.
keep him down, maybe.
But
I don't know how
Namiels
TV
also
plays.
gives you extra element. I mean, that's gonna up your damage on your sword swings as well. Maybe not as much, but it's also gonna affect everything across the board.
I guess the other consideration though is like, it's not as if the Namiel set is particularly good either, right? So
That's
you've got
true.
two shit sets to work with.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
just the set bonus that you're looking for and the available slots and stuff like that.
We're looking
But-
at shades of gray in terms of crap sets. So yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
so
sense,
Pick
right?
your poison, you know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm still hoping for their new siege monsters, that we get relic armor rather than relic weapons, because our armor sucks so hard in master rank.
I'm just waiting for the true crit element master rank Colv weapons. That's gonna be fucking busted.
You think that'll be a thing? You think?
Probably not, but I wouldn't put it past Capcom. You
I
never
can see
know.
it. Absolutely, they'll do something.
Right?
Dude,
for
that
sure.
would be so gross. Could you imagine? Just like, I know nobody cares, but Bo, come on.
It'll be this. I'm calling it now. It'll be true crit element bows, but they'll be so low element damage that'll be fucking irrelevant anyways.
Maybe like 120.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no problem with Bo being ahead of the curve and like having sick things because Bo is hard to use. Like
No,
Bo
it's
is
not.
very.
Use
Yes,
well,
it is. Phemeto, stop it, dude. Your times are
hard to
like
do well.
way harder than everyone's. And there's like other players like Alyssa, Faye, Sibel, everyone else, like whose times are also way farther. Like, no, dude, Bo is very difficult, man. That skill ceiling is whew, that's up there, man. That is a tough bad boy to use for sure. Don't play yourself short, man. Don't be so humble.
Okay.
Don't do it to yourself. But hey, you should let me pick this next video too, right? All right, cool. So I'm gonna pick this next one. And we're also, yeah, it's no big deal. We're gonna go with Vanov. We're gonna go his TACV versus Goldian.
This shit is
alright.
so fucking good.
Yeah, I
Yes.
did see this. Vanov is. I'm surprised Vanov actually is running Charge Blade and not. Oh, he did switch because Switch Axe is kind of stupid, huh?
I don't want to put words in Vanov's mouth, but my
Can
understanding.
we
is-
start it together so we're all on the same page for this one?
You gonna count it down, friend?
Yes, I will, my good sir. So
And this
in
way,
a-
Chad can follow with us. Oh my god!
no
Genius
problem.
idea.
Good thinking.
Wow.
Good thinking. All right, hopefully we're good. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1 play.
But yeah, my understanding of Vanov's position is he used Charge Blade in like GU, where it was more AED spam kind of thing.
Right, and because he didn't like it in World.
He didn't like it in World because it was just you SAED all the time. Otherwise, you're not doing optimal damage. So
Right, so he switched to Switch Axe.
Is that he before he got arrested for dressing up like a clown and going into that school?
I don't know anything about that, so don't ask me about that there.
He told me about that when he was out drinking on Discord.
Gotcha.
Clown incident at an elementary school.
I wouldn't put it past him. But I'm surprised he didn't stick to Switch Axe, though, because he played Switch Axe all of Base World.
Would you play
I don't
Switch
think he
Axe
likes
right now if it
the-
was just ZSD spam?
It's not, though, dude. Switch Axe runs... Okay, we gotta bring a Switch Axe. I'll bring Vanov in next time. Switch Axe right now
talk to the man
is
himself. There you go.
stylish. It's a very
The man
stylish
himself
weapon
who
still.
doesn't run Switch Axe and is running CB.
I don't
Excellent.
care. I want his opinion on it regardless.
I'm all for it. You definitely know who... whatever. We're editing this whole part out. And back.
I like the Gold Rathian fight in general because she does so many more kickflips than regular Rathians. Like,
I really enjoyed the Gold Wrath fight. Like that was the fight
Very
I was working
intense.
on before.
yeah, I think it's
stopped.
it's probably everyone's favorite fight because it rewards you so much.
Well, there's clear patterns to what it does as well, and
That damage.
or
Look at
I'm much
that.
more familiar
Yeah,
with
that's just a good Savage Axe setup.
Ooh. This is what you were talking about, Fem, about Savage X just looking good when you do it right and the damage being proper. Look at that. Fem, have you ever thought about trying melee weapons yourself, or no, just not your thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know how to play Hunting Horn and Gunlance. I did a couple runs with those.
Cool.
I don't really care for it. I'll probably play Gunlance more in PC version though, because it's got the word gun in it. Dude, the Gold Rathian
Wow.
dunks,
So
dude,
good.
the
I love
dunks,
that dunk.
the instant
The dunks
just
are
hit
real
the
in this
ground,
video. Damn,
Yeah.
wow.
and Savage Axe just does some nasty numbers.
Yeah, the AED crits for like 640.
That's
on
a
the
lot.
melee hit. It's fucking insane.
Dude, he just keeps him in a coma. This is worse than Aaron Hernandez before he killed himself. Jesus Christ. CTE.
Well, like this fight is a good example of kind of the versatility of Charge Blade nowadays, because you talk to most people and the idea of running a Charge Blade set
Dude,
without focus, or
Even
without
like that,
Again?
or without-
just the switch, like no AED, you just swap into Axe and bop its face. Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing. Like Switch Axe or not Switch Axe, Charge Blade is so versatile now because
Yeah.
you can do everything with it now. It's not just spam super elemental discharge.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it-
one of the interesting things I've seen. Like, if you go to the Reddit, a lot of people are just really interested in kind of what's the best option for Charge Blade, and it's like there's no room for
Right.
any nuance,
Yeah.
which
Well-
needs to be there because there are so many options depending on.
Because everyone
particular
wants a
monster.
flowchart. Everyone wants to just, oh, what should I do? But it's like, no, you have to read the fight. You have to know in the situation what you should do. That's how the game works.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good run. Good job, Vanov.
He really just, laid it down in terms of the dunks on that one. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 that I just scribbled down here in terms of how he just put it down, man. Like, I thought for sure there was going to be some kind of other movement, and nope, just straight dunked. Oh, love that shit.
He's got Gold Rathian glued to the floor and he's fucking
Now,
it up.
did you guys notice that dunks behave differently in this than in base game? They, like, a lot of times they will instantly just go from air to ground. They don't, like, fall. They just, like, teleport to the ground. It's not
Yep.
just a Gold Rathian thing. That's, like, a lot of monsters dunk like that. Like, they changed dunk properties. Seems weird.
Wasn't it kind of like that with the fucking TSC aerial dunk shit that he was doing?
Yeah, with the ground dunks, him and Ricky
Well-
and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
doing it. Yep,
But that's
same exact
different.
thing.
Similar
Okay,
animation
so
to that.
the difference between then is because that was you're hitting a frame where the monster's AI decides, hey, I'm going to go up in the air, and you're hitting it down from that, so you basically dunked it on the ground. But what I'm talking here is a monster that was in the air, like Rathian, and you bop its stagger threshold, and then it just automatically teleports to the ground. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's a little bit weirder looking in Iceborne because it happens all the time. I don't know, I just thought that was odd because they definitely changed the dunk properties.
You guys are cool with looking up a little Brute Tigrex next?
Fuck yeah.
Brute is
HPs,
such a
herds,
good fight.
TACB.
Let me find it really quick.
Which one are we doing?
TACB. HCZS TACB versus
Oh.
Brute Tigrex.
The 435?
435.
HCDC's Brute Tigrex.
Good old
Fantasy,
Herb.
thank you
Good
very
old
much.
Herb.
I would like to point out that the Brute Tigrex fight in World is also fantastic. It is so much better than base Tigrex.
Absolutely agreed, 100%. Are you guys on the loading screen good to go? Ready?
Yep.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And let's see how Herb rides this bad boy.
Is this water charge blade? Because I know Brute's very weak to water.
No, he's still got the Gold Rathian impact.
Okay. I don't even know what weapons are anymore because fucking custom mobs, any weapon could be fucking anything. I don't care.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Well, you don't like everything looking like the Val Hazak charge blade?
Like, I like how
See what the
they
gentleman's
they
open
came
is.
out with custom weapons just to make every weapon end up the same anyway. Just, you know, charge and shield. I'm surprised he got hit.
Nice high frame.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He needs to get better at this one.
I think most of the Brute Tigrex fight, though, is just like you're trading hits with it.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
heard
good
someone
KO.
complaining about the roar too. Like, unless he does a specific attack pattern, like something is like 10 times more optimal than like another one. So there could probably be a lot of trade-offs where you just take a hit for something else, maybe. But I don't know. At the same time, you want to always be delivering DPS. So I don't know if we can just really cope and let it go with that thing.
He's getting hit a little much.
Another one.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised he actually used the clutch claw attack there, because I mean, most other people haven't for their charge blade runs. Oh, okay. I mean, that was a good SAED or AED. Oh, he's going for KOs. That's why. Okay, that makes more sense.
There we go. Dropped him. Dropped him. Get him, Herb. Get him.
No.
Yeah, he's just doing SAED spam. This is like old school World Charge Blade. And Tigrex's trip super easily on their arms too, which is why I'm surprised he's not also like swinging the discharge to cross the arms to reduce their stagger values.
Really, they do? What's the, you know what the threshold is on the arms?
I don't off the top of my head, but it's really low. Like, you can keep them locked pretty hard with going across their arms.
I'm surprised he went for the tenderize again there, considering he had just done it. Like, you can time it where you get the AED on the backswing at the head.
Right, and it lasts, what, 90 seconds or something?
90.
Yeah.
Yeah. HG's got to improve this run. This can go way lower.
Yeah, he's taken, what, 5 hits so far, I think, on it? But you gotta
It's
think
weird for
so...
me to, like, try to critique this kind of stuff, because these are just, like, so much fucking better than I am.
Well, I mean, it's not like I
can't play Charge Blade.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's a good run because it's a different playstyle. We haven't seen just SAED
Yeah.
spam before, and it's also impact on KO. Anytime he KOs, that's his 3rd KO already. So there's just a bunch of different.
He's doing it right. He's putting the hurt on. You're right, fam. He's doing some here big. He's putting it down.
So just saying, like, yeah, like Charge Blade has different ways you can go about, you know, doing stuff. It's not just spam SAED or spam Savage Axe or, you know, just go Elemental. I mean, you have options. So you got that stagger off the arm
He's
there, which
going
was
for the
nice.
head.
That was good. That was good.
I don't know if that was intentional, but
I'll say it was. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Drop him. Boom. Oh.
nah. And those roars are free offensive guards, man.
Wow, yeah, that's instant. I really thought that offensive guard would proc and give a buff to files, and I can't believe that it doesn't. That sucks.
Because it's raw damage, it boosts impact file damage, but yeah, on element it's strictly just
Oh, it does boost impact file damage though.
Right, because impact scales off of raw specifically.
Gotcha.
Right?
Pardon my ignorance, brother.
No, it's all good.
I hate that quick roar that Brute does. I mean,
There it is.
So I think, what would you guys think? So he got hit about 7 or 8 times. What do you think, like sub 4?
oh yeah, you could definitely sub for it. I mean, it's still probably one of the only. Is it still the fastest Brute Tigrex run?
It was when we were looking at it a couple days ago. When he had his windows of opportunity, he definitely maximized them and got it. He just had a couple of mistakes. But I mean, that's what's cool to showcase is you can still have a couple hiccups and get a sub 5 on arguably the toughest monster in the game, MR6, solo kill. So kudos to you, brother.
Do you think that SAAD spam was optimal, or do you think you should run with Savage Axe that trip up the wings? Because the wings have a really high water hit zone.
He got hit too much. We don't know, because he should have got like 5 more off. You know what I mean? And if those had offset some of the attack patterns that got him hit, we don't know how well it could have gone. Either way, I think probably worth a revisit, right? For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna show him later. Like, yo, fix your runs.
Get him, boy. Get him. I got a run I want to do now. Call up.
Because you haven't done all of them. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I haven't called out any yet, so I want to call up the next one. I really want to go to
things that I find really interesting though is he's not running like a significant amount of guard. I think he might have guard 1.
Well, I mean, isn't that what most people do? Is they run guard like 1 and then run. That's it, because you get guard up off red shield, right?
Say that again.
You get red shield. You get guard up when you have red shield, right?
Not guard. Well, red shield is equivalent to like breakpoints at guard 1, guard 3, and guard 5.
Oh, right. Sorry, my bad. I charged
guard
my
up
terms.
Would be like the different skill.
Is he even running guard up? I don't think he is.
I don't think you need it for brute. But like,
yeah, he's running guard 1.
My understanding is some of the roars require like guard 5 in order to not take large knockback, but that's only if you don't break the head specifically.
Oh, that really? Break head will reduce the roar severity?
The hit back, or I can't talk, I'm fucking retarded right now.
Are we all?
Yeah. No, like the specific amount of guard required to not take large knockback changes depending on whether the head is broken or not.
I did not know that at all. That's interesting. I should keep track of that because, shield heavy bowgun's a thing now. The better gun lance. Okay.
You guys cool with watching the master put Zinogre in this fucking place?
Rainey's or?
Let's go for it.
Let's watch Rainy Zinogre.
Sensei Rainy.
Do I have Rainey's? Where's? Hold on,
let me know when you guys get through the ads.
Did he? Hold on a minute. Oh, I do. Okay, I got Rainey's. I think that's Rainy. I can't read shit. Sorry.
It's cool, man. Oh, you know what? We should probably do a chug.
All right.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, I got Rainy. This is his TA Zinogre, right?
Yep, his TA is an ogre, but let's get that. Oh, there we go. Frosty's already ahead, cracking that bottle. My man.
Yeah, I gotta pound my glass.
I don't sub to anybody, but I sub to Frosty. I also sub to Phemeto, so I mean, whatever. But that's what's important. This is why the man is classy.
Yeah. Cheers to Rainy.
Cheers
and
to
his
Rainy, champion of the Charge Blade. All right.
I hate
now,
chugging
give
wine.
Me 1 second to grab a beer, and then we'll watch his run.
Fuck. I hate pounding wine. It is such a waste of wine.
You chugging it out of the box?
Box? Fuck you. Box. Box me.
Way too classy for that, I see. Damn.
I have a wine fridge. I have boxes of wine. I have wine club memberships. I go wine tasting. I drink my specialty wines. This is a 2008 blend of Mourvedre and, well, it is part Pinot, yes, but it's a Pinot, Mourvedre, and Syrah blend from 2008, which is a really good year actually. And I am very fancy in my wine. I don't drink fucking box wine.
Fancy.
When we were in Vegas, he had basically the equivalent of a Ghostbusters 3 proton pack on his back, and he was just delivering wine to all the populace everywhere we went. It was incredible. I asked him, like, Phemeto, how the hell did you figure out this technology? He told me something about teleportation and wine. It was incredible. Phemeto, I appreciate your wine connoisseurism, my friend. However, you still gotta fucking chug it, so chug that shit.
I did, and I hate doing it because it's disgraceful.
Oh, it's a rough day for you, huh? Okay.
I work today.
You fucking ended gin.
Oh, that went through my nose, but that's good. I can snort it back and drink it still. We're fine. We're fine. And now we're loading up Zin and the TA Wiki rules plus Clutch Claw. You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Count it down, friend.
All right, guys. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. So, Rainy, I think we can all agree when it comes to Charge Blade, it's like him, Aki, Asians that just really set the bar for like where they go. First off, this song I'm gonna call out right now. He did not know this song until I showed it to him. So
oh, really?
I definitely gave Rainy the Aki But I Carry a Gun song. And now we can go ahead and just talk about the opening. I'll let
what the fuck is with Zinogre's tail? Is he Zinogre's tail?
This song is so good for runs.
So you tenderize the arms. I assume. Wait, does it tenderize both arms? Does Zinogre not?
I have no idea.
I think both his arms are scratched. Yeah, they are. So Zinogre's arm hitboxes don't differentiate between the two. That's interesting.
That's cool.
I did not know that. There you go.
Rainy loves his AEDs, man. He like patented AED runs.
I'm glad he stuck with Charge Blade instead of going to Longsword, I'll be honest with you. I think this is just a much cooler playstyle to watch. No offense to Longsword players, y'all great. I think you're incredible. But Charge Blade, I mean, it just looks good, man. It just looks great. Like, look at that. He just dodged a bunch of... He didn't even do anything other than doing SAED. Incredible. Like, it was great.
I think he missed the second hit of the SAED.
Yeah, he did. He just says, fuck it to the clagger.
That was a full SAED.
A lot of people don't like the Zinogre fight in World. They think he's too big and his paws hit like way outside of the hitbox. But I think he's still one of the better fights.
I think it all depends on what kind of size you get. I've had some monsters, man, that have spawned for me, and it's just like the worst situation you could be in for sure. Because there's some situations where his paws are like your whole screen. It's pretty nuts.
How was the fight in previous games? I know a lot of people have said that, it wasn't like the most difficult fight.
No, he was pretty trivial because he always did stuff in groups of 3. He was really easy to get a momentum going with the fight. He's also smaller in general, so it was easier to hit his head. And he charged a lot more. So not like charge ran through you, but he built up his energy more, so you can cancel that often.
Right.
Because I think staggers in World are not the same as previous games, so you could break him out of his charge pretty easily in the old games, but not so much in World. He was really good though. I mean, he's still pretty similar, but they changed it up enough that make him feel fresh. Oh, dude. I'm surprised he got a KO off that SAED. In fact, I don't even know how he got that KO.
He's gonna jump off here, right? Yeah.
No.
Just, it's like,
Yeah, so do all monsters clagger off one zone, or do they clagger off several zones? Because I know some monsters, you know, they don't clagger off specific stuff. Like Tigrex's head is not a clagger zone, but I'm just wondering because
specifics on that.
Because SAAD like just throws across all the hit zones. I wonder if you can chain claggers that way. Ooh, that's a good. See, that's that Unga Boonga moments, man. He's gonna swing. You're just like, fuck it, man. Go for it. Just do it. Jin, did you mute your mic again?
Shit, I did mute my mic. All I was saying is
I think you did it again.
It definitely lays it out, dude. Those are definitely the ones that you gotta chase.
Interesting that he went with like just a standard axe swing near the end there.
He's trying to get a ED on the head, I imagine. AED, nice.
Ooh, got bum rush.
I envy Charge Blade being able to use their offense and defense at the same time.
What do you mean? You got HBG shield and you can shoot.
Okay, we're not talking about Glutton. Fuck Glutton. Glutton is like, that's a monster in its own. Okay, so the Charge Blade run was pretty sweet. More AEDs, but you know, it's just a good mix of AEDs and super AEDs.
There were 3 minutes in there where Rainey's mechanics were just on point, on fire. Dude, I love runs like that when you can just watch a run and look at the user itself and be like, wow, this guy is literally adapting to what the monster's throwing at him. Because we always watch the AI or whatever, but when you can see the player just be ahead of the curve, it's really good to see. And that's why I love watching Rainey runs. He usually demonstrates that very, very well.
And you can tell the player too, because players think differently. Like if you look at runs from different like Charge Blade users, you can tell which player is which because they think differently, they do attacks differently. They're just different, man. And I mean, I think that's the same with all weapons, but I like that you can do that when you just watch a run.
Yeah, there's definitely
Phemeto,
like
I sent you a DM too, by the way.
Cool, I probably didn't get it.
Awesome, good.
There's definitely differences between like the way someone like Rainey or Akantor will play, even though they get like similar times. Well, I don't consider myself to be in the same.
Well, no, but
you on this because you were mediocre.
Huh?
We don't bring scrubs on this show, bro. We didn't bring you on here because you're mediocre. On that level, I'm good.
I don't think I'm bad.
You are Rainey's disciple, and that's what we call. That's how I'm referring to you. You're not there, but you've got the mentality of you understand the game and you know how it's supposed to work, and you're trying to get there, and that's what matters.
I think one of the things that Grifted had said in one of his previous podcasts, where it's like there's a distinction between people who are like decent or even good at the game and are just playing and get a good run versus people who are actually like speed running, where they're like, you know, they have a plan for every fucking situation and it's almost scripted in a sense. Like there's a distinction there between those two types of runs. I definitely feel more in the camp of like, I'm just going through the fight and seeing what's happening rather than having like a specific plan from like the get-go. Like I imagine Vanov on that Charge Blade run that he has, like he knows exactly when he's going to get a knockout. He knows exactly when he's going to get everything fucking happening.
Yeah,
right?
But in TA in general, it's more of a go with the flow kind of style anyway.
Sure. And that's why I enjoy that sort of play style, right? Like, but you know, I like watching this stuff and just seeing like, holy fucking shit, these guys are so good.
Yeah.
So Frosty, here's my question to you. We've had a wonderful conversation tonight. We've definitely talked about a couple runs. When are we going to get the next Frost Dizzle run?
Dude, my claim to fame is like a 436 ATTO run from like high
Now
rank.
you say it like that's bad. That is still
Exactly,
better
it's
than
not
most
bad.
people.
It's just,
I don't say it's bad, but it like that's like a minute behind the fastest run going into Iceborne. So it's not like... There you go.
I mean, okay, like I said before, nobody cares about times. Like, times are fine, but you could get 1 million views on not the fastest run in the world. I'm not going to point fingers at anyone. But that's just the thing. It's all about
point elbows.
It's all about the player, and we like to see other players play because they play differently and they think of different things. And so, yeah, are you gonna come back and do like PC Iceborne stuff, or are you gonna do?
Yeah, of course, dude. Like I said, my break from Iceborne is just strictly because I've just played it so much over a short period of time. It's just nice to have a little break, and then again, in really specific context, the Nioh stuff is obviously something I'm particularly interested in. So I took some time to focus on that. Now that the beta is currently available, but yeah, it's not like I'm discouraged or anything. I'm definitely going to come back and do some runs and kind of see where I'm at. But yeah, for me, it's always going to be personal improvement and what I can do better and like where I feel like I'm doing well. Like I'll post a run based on that rather than whether or not I'm in world record running.
Well, and that's all I ask of people too. I don't even speedrun to get world record runs. I don't care about the shit. When I do runs, it's like, hey, I tell myself, you could do better, dude. And all I'm trying to do is improve myself. And that's all I ask of anyone. And anyone, so like for people that play Monster Hunter, nobody cares about times. Like just better yourself. If you're just playing,
nobody cares about times.
Yeah, if you're just playing to play the game, why? I don't get that. Just try to be better. Just do better. Think about the game, learn, understand, and just do better. Like that's all I care about. Is as long as you're trying
just to play.
Yeah, don't play just to play.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Just try to be a better player. That's all I care about. So if you're going to come back and try to be runs and not be the best of the best, but just be the best that you can be, that's all that matters, dude.
You don't got to try to get the world record. You don't got to try to get a sub 60 or a sub 2 or anything like that. Just if you got a 101, you better fucking do a sub 60. Well, yeah, then you got to get to 69. I mean, we get that point. We know how that goes. I think on that note, we've pretty much hit up a bunch of the runs. Frosty, it has been an absolute joy having you here tonight. I think, you're articulate, you're on point, and I think everyone's really going to wait for that next run that you're going to bring out here. We know you're going to have a little bit of a wait for it, but we're waiting for it too as well with you. That's pretty much everything I've got for all of you tonight. I appreciate everybody coming out and checking out the show. I'm going to go ahead and turn over to Phemeto. And Phemeto, why don't you go ahead and close us out here, brother?
Well, I'm going to make sure that I shill Frosty's Twitch and Twitters because
oh yeah, blow that shit up.
Gotta check out Frosty. We don't want to bring scrubs on here, guys. Like seriously, come on.
We don't hang out with bums, dude.
Yeah.
We don't do that shit.
We're too cool. We're too cool for that.
I'd like to thank my parents for believing me and my fans for this.
Is that why you have a photo of your parents behind you because you believe in them so much?
Yeah.
Is that a photo of your parents? That was the Bloodborne
My
Hunter.
dad was actually in Bloodborne.
Looks like your parents have a big weapon in their right hand, and maybe.
But
yeah. So I mean, yeah. Thank you, Frosty, for being on, and thank you, Jen, for being here as comedic relief as always, because that is not my.
I think I'm a host, but I guess I'm here for comedic relief. Okay.
Yeah, because that is not my alley. Beep. Yeah. So, anything you want to add on, Frosty, before we get on out of here?
No, I think the runs that we just
Drink
watched are a good showcase of kind of the.
Did you say drink, or did I hear that in my head?
Expanded versatility of Chargeblade.
Gotta finish your drink.
Slam it down one more time. Third slam. We'll do it, and we'll end the show.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's drinking.
It's a good thing we're recording this, otherwise I'm not going to fucking remember anything.
I know, you can go back and look at it later.
Exactly, there it is.
Hey, get a DUI, prove you're a badass. Just shut up and drink, huh?
Alright.
Yeah.
Gotta be chugging wine.
Thank you guys once again. This has been the loading screen, and we will talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, see you, peoples.
Even know.
I live in Canada land. Our handsome president has said that it's okay to smoke weed.
Your blackface president?
Okay. I am recording, but yeah.
I just dropped a Trudeau joke.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Dude, the Canada police is gonna fucking come for you.
Nah.
The fucking
On
Mounties.
Fine.
horseback, nonetheless.
The
Yeah.
Mounties. On
They're gonna
horseback?
fucking just wrangle you up. It's
I'm
just,
fucked. I'm fucked.
Okay.
We can just add this as a blooper reel.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
yeah, it's bloopers.
There
It's
it
fine.
is.
Okay, so if you wanna go ahead and propose the.
No, I was just saying, like, what prompted you guys to want to start a podcast?
So it was
I actually really like podcasts. Like,
I'll
I
let
had,
Phemeto give his opinion, and then I'll explain about why I actually did it, all jokes aside.
There you
Okay,
go.
so the reason why I thought it was a good idea is because Grifted kept doing his podcasts, and they're really good. I really like Grifted stuff,
Mhm.
but they were so
Yeah, I watch that shit
infrequent.
all the time.
Like they were like once every 6 months or something. And with how crazy Monster Hunter World has sold, it sold 15 million copies. Hold on a second.
Actually insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It sold 5 times the amount of like Street Fighter 5 did. It did ridiculous numbers. Despite that, though,
12 million.
no,
14.
15.
40?
now. No, 15. It's a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
So, despite that, though, there's rarely any like Monster Hunter like YouTube like channel stuff. Like as far as their official Capcom stuff goes, there's like a Monster Hunter community stream once a week that's pretty small. Like Kanta gets more views than the official Monster Hunter stream. There's
Well deserved though. Kansas
Yeah,
Street
Kenta
yeah.
gets more views than
yeah,
Donald
no,
Trump.
yeah, no
Again,
shit,
well
no
deserved.
shitting on Kanta. Kanta's cool. Everyone loves Kanta. I'm just saying the stream is not very big.
Sure.
And just general like Monster Hunter viewership on Twitch is so fucking low. It's like less than 2,000 every day, and despite that, it's selling way more than anything else this Capcom has ever done. And I don't understand why. It's not casual friendly. I get it, but I just want to put more Monster Hunter content out there because there's just not any of it. There's none of it. Like it's kind of up to us to put Monster Hunter like out there in the mainstream.
No, I got you.
No, dude, there ain't shit out there. And then when you try to upload stuff, you're going to get either discredited because you're selling out, quote unquote, or you're going to get copyright striked because you're a Gaijin hunter. And that's not cool. So I get it, dude. Like, it's tough, man. But again, people are trying to build a community. People are trying to do it. You got a lot of people out there putting their own 2 cents in, their own 60 cents in, their own buck in, trying to really just try to, get their name out there to build this out. And as much as there are little splinter cells, and we all know it, there's so many. As good as the community is, there's splinter cells left and right. At least everyone's trying to make it better. Like, that's what's cool. Like, everyone is trying to get the name. Like, we want to be the Smash community. We want to be the Mortal Kombat community,
Okay.
or whatever.
Nobody wants to be the Smash community. Let's acknowledge that.
Oh my God, you're right. No one does, and I didn't know that until this year. I didn't know that Smash kids smell differently. For any of you guys who play Smash right now, you stink and you need to shower. I don't know what camera.
We were at
You
Evo.
smell really bad, and you need to shower. You
Okay,
definitely need to
Frosty,
shower.
you
It
don't
was
know,
Awkward.
but me and Frosty went to Evo, like what is it, like July or something like that.
No, me and Jin,
Me and
not me
Jin.
and Frosty.
Oh,
God
sorry,
damn it,
sorry.
fam.
I'm drunk at this point. Okay, so Frosty,
Dude, I would love to go. That'd be sick.
yeah, you can
Let's
come
fucking
next
hang
time.
out in Vegas for a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Basically, it was me,
was
Jin,
awesome.
my brother, and Pope, and Willie, who play fighting games and stuff. And we just hung out and drank and played games and hung out at Evo for like 5 days, and it was great. But
Is there like you walk into the venue for Evo and there's just a fucking punch in the face of just like smell?
No, not at all.
no,
So here, let me
but
explain. Let me
okay,
explain
all
this.
right,
Let me
all
explain
right,
this.
all right, go
Let me
ahead.
explain this one. So this was my first Evo event, right? So my first Evo event. And I got there. I met up with Phemeto. We were in the hotel. We had a drink. It smelled wonderful. It was a Las Vegas hotel. It was great. It was all good. So then we
Like
kind of
lilies and
skedaddled.
lilac.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, my
No,
God.
no, it's
it was
super
like
fancy.
Martha Stewart's vagina. It smelled phenomenal. Just incredible. So then we go to the scenario, which I'll refer to as a scenario.
Mhm.
And we walk in there and we're just sitting around and we're hanging out. And I for my first time, I'm like, hey, let's go walk around. So we're wandering around and I look over here and I literally can almost see what I would call a cloud of radiation. Now, I don't really know if
3.6.
I don't know if
Not great,
dirtiness
not terrible.
No, it was terrible. God bless you for doing the dialogue. But
that's awesome. It
Long
maxed
story
out the
short-
meter. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so
No
bad.
problem. Whatever. Yeah.
I had to ask Phemeto, I was like, so that was the Smash players? And he was like, yes, it will be like that for the next 4 days. I'm like, oh, I won't be going back over there then. And he was like, yeah, no, nobody really does, minus the Smash players. It is weird. I didn't think people could be that dirty. Like the dirt, like, I was homeless. Let me be clear. Like, remember, 8 years ago, like, I was like legit homeless. Like, not like, oh, I'm gonna whatever. Like, I literally had nothing and was deciding, like, I'm gonna put money into my gas tank or buy some McChickens from McDonald's. And I still didn't fucking smell like that. There is no way that you can smell like that if you have more than $4 in your pocket. And Smash players, y'all smell real fucking bad.
And it's just the
Right.
Smash players.
Anxiety's a fucking bitch, dude.
It's just the Smash players, though.
It was
Nowhere
just
else.
them, no one else. There was every other group, even small little sects of
Yeah.
like weird, not even
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown,
Like-
but like Samurai Showdown, like
Well,
Weibo clones.
Wait, and there was like
Nobody
Blos
smelled.
Blue
Nobody smelled.
and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, like Blos Blue cross tag and all
There
sorts
were
of other
people
weird
doing
shit.
fucking yoga and nobody smelled.
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible, minus the fucking
Hot
Smash
yoga?
players.
Or
It's
regular
Smash
yoga.
players. Yeah.
There's a very big difference.
Go on,
I
repeat
couldn't believe
that.
how stinky they were. I didn't think it was real. Dude, I literally went there for my first time and I didn't believe. I'm like, hey, yeah, what is... Oh my god, dude, you could smell it. Like, you were like...
You could
like,
see it.
It was on your skin. You didn't know. You're like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Frosty, where are you at, by the way?
I
Canada.
live in Canada land.
Like, are you actually in Canada?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm between Niagara Falls and Toronto.
Okay. I was like, because you said you'd come down for Evo. I was like, I wonder if we could plan this for next year. Because one of the things that I've been trying to do, and I've been talking to a couple of people about it, is I want to get, like, kind of like a Monster Hunter meetup. Like, fuck Capcom's tournament thing that they did. I hate that so much. It was so annoying to do. But I want to get a bunch of Monster Hunter players from all over, wherever's the closest spot, and just hang out in at a hotel, a couple rooms, a venue. I don't care. I'll put up the money. I don't give a shit. And just
What about PAX East?
or PAX East, yeah, something like that, and just hang out, play Monster Hunter. We'll do like a small little local tournament for Monster Hunter, and I just want all the Monster Hunter players to meet up and just kind of hang out. Because I talked to
Dude,
everyone
have
on Discord and stream and all that shit, and I mean, I like all the Monster Hunter.
Have you ever played Nidhogg with a group of
I did.
friends?
I have played Nidhogg.
Oh,
That is a
Nidhogg is so
fucking
good.
wild game.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
I suck at Nidhogg, but yeah, it is like the most basic of crazy
My mom
mind
was a
reading
Nidhogg.
game.
No, Nidhogg is sick. We used to do that when we would go down to PAX tournaments and stuff like that. Not tournaments, but like PAX events.
You can just play
Um,
Nidhogg.
Yeah, like I'm part of a Dark Souls team that has done this shit for fucking ever. And we used to go down to like the different PAX events and we would just hang out in the hotel room, watch like the different, you know, new trailers and stuff like that, and we would just fucking play Nidhogg all day. And that shit is so much fun.
It's so hyped. Jin, have you played Nidhogg?
No, I have not yet, man. I
Dude.
have not done it.
It's a
Nidhogg
pretty
is
old
like-
game.
It's like a 1v1 duel sort of thing, but there's a lot of
There's
like
so much
level
more.
incorporation.
Yeah.
And at the very end there's a big dick monster, and like the winner doesn't get fucked by the dick monster, and that's like a big deal. It's pretty good. I think you would enjoy it.
Jin, just Google like Nidhogg. Like there is so much. Like Nidhogg is like the craziest. It's like it's better than Mario Party. It's like if you're gonna have a group of people together,
Agreed.
you're either gonna play Rock Band or Nidhogg because that's you. I think Rock
I'm not a
Band's
fan of
the antidote.
Nidhogg 2. Have you seen the animations for that
You
shit?
know,
It looks fucking weird.
I have not played Nidhogg 2, and I didn't really care for it when I saw that it was released. I was like, okay, I like Nidhogg 1 better, but okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, I haven't really played Nidhogg 2 at all. Played a lot more Nidhogg 1. It's like Nidhogg's a party game, dude. Speaking of party games, though, have you played any of the Jackbox games that are on every single console ever?
I've heard good things, but I have not played myself.
If you got a group of 4 or more people, play some Jackbox games. Jackbox games are awesome. Jackbox, sponsor me. Fucking love Jackbox games. Jen, you've been muted for I don't know how long, by the way.
Shit.
You fucking psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath. I just don't want you bitched when I fucking hit the typing. When I don't
Okay, I acknowledge that you are self-aware of that point. Every time Jin types on his keyboard, drives me fucking insane.
I mute it immediately. As soon as I hit one key, I go, ah!
No, that's what we were editing out. Fuck.
Oh yeah, edit out that shit too. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like you were muted trying to talk about something.
I don't know, man.
Okay, whatever.
Just mute it all out. I'm sorry. I screwed it up.
Okay.
I have a question. What's your overall impressions of Iceborne? Like, I haven't talked to you guys specifically about it, and I'm kind of curious.
Oh, just us?
Yeah, like obviously I have my own perspective as like a Charge Blade main, and just kind of the distinction between base world and Iceborne. Iceborne for me is just it's a lot more variety and a lot of options, and I think that's always a good option.
Yes.
To have, but obviously, my experience is not necessarily going to relate to other players who main different weapons and have different experiences and kind of stuff. So I'm curious, like, what you guys kind of think. I know Phemeto is obviously very gunner focused. Jin's the fucking aerial god. So I'm curious how you guys kind of approach the game as it is.
I'll go ahead and take this one. This is just for us. I'm just trying to do anything until PC comes out, bro. I won't lie to you. So I only got so much free time, and it's tough because these monsters, they're twice as hard to kill. Absolutely. They're, if not even more. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a 60-second lockdown where I can do that with my daughter on my shoulders and do it. So to do the cool shit I used to do before, I'm not going to even try in front. I have to remove the RNG layers. I can't sit here for 10 hours and hope for Palico. I can't sit here for 10 hours and hope for the spawn. I can get the shit done. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm a good player. But
you're just waiting for PC, basically.
I don't have that time. I just physically don't. Now, if that makes me a worse player because player XYZ can do it, then kudos to him, and I won't take anything away from him. But me specifically, I'll tell you right now, I love Iceborne. It's removed a ton of the crap. It's added a ton of variety. People bitch about Clutch Claw. I love the idea of it, and I'm still okay with the implementation of it. I don't think it's right, but I'm okay with it because it adds variety too, opens up some spots for some weapons that really didn't have that opportunity before. I really enjoy it, dude. I really like it a lot. I'm gonna like it a lot more when PC comes, and I'll just leave it at that and turn over to Phemeto. I'm gonna like it when PC comes a lot more.
So for me, I don't know, it's a mixed bag. Like, I like Iceborne a lot because all the new monsters they added have been great. I mean, hit zones aside, the fights are
10
fun.
times better.
The fights,
the fights are so much better.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
They're crazy. And the maps, Guided Lands and Hoarfrost Reach, are great maps. I love both of them way more than the older maps. As far as my weapon specifics go, they didn't change at all, and that's what I'm kind of bummed out about. Nothing changed from base game to Iceborne. Bow is still overpowered. You're still running True Crit Element on every single set. You still have the same set for every single weapon. For Bowgun, Glutton is still king. For Light Bowgun, you're kind of shit because Clutch Claw shit on your entire day. It's kind of mixed. Like, I like the game, but I don't like the idea of speedrunning it, which is kind of why I've been avoiding it. And if you've noticed, I haven't done any speedrunning of Iceborne because it seems like such a hassle that I don't care enough to do it, because it's literally, for a gunner perspective, the exact same game as base game, except now it's taking twice as long.
What specifically are the obstacles in your way for making the speedrun format more appealing?
Pretty much for me, it's Clutch Claw on gunning feels like shit. Like, it does. For whatever reason, there's a weird delay on after you shoot or roll or reload or anything before you can actually activate your Clutch Claw. So, like, if you don't know, gunning Clutch Claw, you have to aim with L2 and then click R3 and to do it. But you can't do it after you shoot or reload, because after those, you have your recoil animations, your reload animations, and your roll animations that have to take effect before you can actually activate your Clutch Claw. So if you shoot and then try to reload and you're trying to spam R3 for Clutch Claw, you're just sitting there with your aim button down and it's not doing anything. And if you try to click R3 and then circle really quick to actually use your Clutch Claw, circle is also your special ammo, so it'll load your special ammo or put a landmine down or something. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? All the time, it's just slow. Gunning with Clutch Claw is slow, and you have to use it, which is a pain. Now on the bow side, you don't.
Let's say you're in charge of development for Iceborne as like a Capcom employee. Like how do you resolve that specifically?
You can resolve it by giving more weapons recoil 1 on their shot, which would up the DPS on both light bowgun and heavy bowgun significantly, because the Clutch Claw actually comes out after your shot recoil. So if you have lower recoil, then your Clutch Claw will be able to come out quicker, and that will help it. But then also you can make your Clutch Claws not last as long. The problem with heavy bowgun and light bowgun both is that when you use your Clutch Claw, it takes like 10 seconds to do it, and it throws you like 30 feet backwards, and you have to land and recover. And by that point, the monster's already attacking you again. Like, there's been instances where I use heavy bowgun's Clutch Claw, and before I can even act, Kyrian fucking bolted me already. And it fucking sucks. Bow, because it's quicker and there's less delay between attacks, you can actually get your Clutch Claw in and out really fast. And so Bow's Clutch Claw isn't a problem. It's the gunner side that's annoying, and I've just been not wanting to do that at all. And because I play on a controller, I feel like shit playing bow and gun and stuff. I've been waiting on PC so I can play on a mouse and keyboard. So, I mean, I love Iceborne. I know I talk a lot of shit about it, but I love Iceborne. It's a much better game than Base World. But it's not a good game to run for a gunner. Because ultimately, everything's reduced to stickies and glutton.
I think, like, if you want to reduce it to a couple things, yeah, Iceborne is a huge improvement over Base World. I don't think that anybody's going to contest that. But obviously, there's still improvements to be made. It's just unfortunate that, you know, we're in the situation that we're in. It would be nice if there was some way to, like, actually have an impact on Capcom's decision making there, but there's really nothing to do.
Well, and that's kind of the hit and miss, because they listen to complaints, because they nerfed the Ancient Lesson fight. We talked about that last week because people complained about it, and they nerfed Aerial Greatsword because everyone complained that it was overpowered, and they nerfed slicing ammo because they thought it was overpowered, and they nerfed clusters because they thought it was overpowered. So shit people say, they do eventually hear. I just think they hear it with half an ear.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. We had a this is a little off topic, but we had a similar kind of thing with the Soulsborne series. So obviously I'm a little bit more in tune with the, like, Dark Souls kind of Soulsborne stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was a situation where we had an opportunity to essentially compile a document between a bunch of different broadcasters and community members in terms of what we kind of thought on the current state of Dark Souls 2 is when we did this.
Really? Dark Souls 2?
Yep. So we compiled like a multi-page document discussing things like soul memory or the defense formula or various other things as far as like balance is concerned with PvP and even just general PvE stuff. And we sent it across to the Bamco community manager, who forwarded it to the FromSoft guys. And what was most discouraging from that is one of the things that we had mentioned within the document was that
Epstein didn't kill himself. I understand. I get it completely. I get it completely.
Almost as ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. So, in I forget what the area is called at this point. It's been so long, but there's an area in the kind of like dungeon rat location where there's a bunch of like trash kind of shit, and as part of the actual trash textures, there's an actual Heineken bottle. Like, so I'm assuming they just got like some yeah. So I'm assuming they got some fucking image of just generic trash and they implemented it into the game. And one of the particular images actually had an image of a Heineken bottle.
What the fuck? Really? Oh my god, do you have a picture of that?
You could sit there long enough and you could find it. And we had mentioned that within the document that also discussed things about like soul memory having issues and different. The way the defense was calculated was much more. How do I phrase this? It was much more static and linear as far as like, if you have this much defense, you mitigate X amount of damage, and that's kind of it. So that would obviously be more of a problem for weapons that had low attack damage but hit frequently. They would have more of
right. It was not a percentage base. It was a flat amount
right.
based.
It was just like a flat reduction. So,
right.
So that would really hurt certain weapons and not hurt certain other weapons. So that was something that we mentioned in the document, and we sent it across to the BAM community manager, who had sent it across to the FromSoft guys. And the very next patch, they removed the Heineken model. That was changed. None of the other stuff was changed.
Really?
But that was
just
changed.
the Heineken bottle.
Just the Heineken model.
What the fuck?
So like stuff like that is like, yeah.
Wow, that's kind of like
I feel optimistic.
That's
that kind
funny,
of stuff,
but it's also a big slap in the face at the same time. It's like we put in all this effort and like, oh, you changed this one insignificant thing.
Well, okay, if you're going from a very practical legal standpoint,
Well, okay,
there's,
from
some
legal,
issues with
yeah,
copyright and
I
stuff
get
like that.
not putting it in there, but there's so much other stuff that they could have done. They're just like, they ignored all of that. It's
100%.
like, oh, this is legally we can't do this, so let's get it out. Everything else, fuck them.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But that's what I mean. So like a lot of this discussion, nowadays, especially with like the Monster Hunter stuff, it's I don't want to say wishful thinking, but it's like
It is. I don't expect Capcom to think anything of what we do or anyone, especially here on the West. As much as it kind of sounds shitty, I don't think they care about us at all, to be honest.
I very much feel that that's the case with most developers. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do, regardless of anything else. So, but
Yeah.
it's interesting to at least have that kind of internal discussion to kind of get different opinions on stuff kind of organized, at least to kind of compare to what other people think.
Mhm.
At this point, I'm fucking trash, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So.
I think we all are at this point. And Jen, you've been muted for like the past 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna let
He's
you
just
know.
hanging out, man.
Yeah.
He's having
Son
a
of
good
a
time.
bitch! I've been muted. Fuck.
Like after that Epstein thing, you've been out, so I don't know what.
Okay, but you at least got the
Yeah,
Epstein thing.
He
Yeah.
had his one introduction like,
Okay, you at least
joke,
got
and
the
that was
Epstein
it.
thing.
There
Okay,
it is.
okay,
Yeah.
we're good. We're good.
So what were you trying to say, Jen?
I don't fucking know. Something about Epstein. I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I don't know. Frosty, thank you. Phemeto, God bless you. This was awesome.
Thank
This was
you for
really
inviting
fucking
me.
cool. Like, I got
really
a lot
appreciate
going
it.
on in my life. 2 kids, crazy job where I'm trying not to get fired, and like, I looked forward to this as soon as I found out that we were gonna be able to do it. So legit, like, thank you guys. Like, this was super fucking dope for me. I know this might just be like a little drinking, whatever, but like, this made my week, man. Like, thank you. Like, for real, this was cool as shit.
I'm happy to be a part. Thank you for inviting me.
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
I gotta,
All right, I'm gonna
piss
go
like
take
a
care of my
racehorse,
kids.
though.
Sleep now, though. I'll be honest with you.
All right, we'll call it here. That's good.